What is negligence? I'm a personal injury lawyer, but sometimes I refer to myself as a negligence lawyer because ultimately every personal injury case that I have, I must prove negligence. According to the law, negligence is the failure to use reasonable care. It's really interesting. In my personal injury practice, I reject just as many cases as I accept. I often tell people that call me with horrific injuries that I may not be able to help them. And that's because based on the story they provide to me about how the accident happened, I don't see any negligence. It's a prerequisite to every personal injury case that we be able to prove negligence. Without negligence, there is no compensation, there's no settlement, and there's no meritorious case. If you're a property owner, it may not be reasonable to leave a sidewalk in a cracked or uneven condition. If you're a doctor, it may not be reasonable to leave a sponge or a clamp behind in your patient's anatomy after a surgery. All of those things are deviations from what a reasonably prudent person or doctor would do under the circumstances. Now, this issue of negligence and the reasonably prudent person, this is a debatable issue. I fight on this issue against insurance companies and defense lawyers all the time. And if the case ultimately goes to trial, the jury decides whether someone acted negligently. The jury decides whether someone, usually the defendant in the case, was negligent. And the standard is whether a reasonably prudent person in the same situation would have done what the defendant did in this case, or whether the other way to look at it is whether the reasonably prudent person would not have done what the defendant did in this case. So that's how we determine whether negligence occurred. It's a absolute prerequisite to every personal injury case, and not everyone who gets hurt got hurt as a result of someone's negligence.